Wow. I just have to say this. For the first time in 6 years, Shane just called me a hottie. Where's the compliments? I never get compliments.
No one's going to believe you. Exactly.
I never get compliments.
Who do I compliment?
Me. You should compliment your wife.
I do.
What do you say?
Depends if you deserve a compliment.
I need some verbal, what's that called?
Like on what?
Like a verbal.
I say you're a good mom all the time.
Yeah, you just say I'm a good mom. I need some verbal, what's that word? Affirmation?
That's a compliment.
No, is that a,
Sure.
I need you to tell me like, wow, you're so beautiful. Instead he just disses me. He's like, are you sure people ever thought you got? Like,
that is
sure?
not what I said.
Yeah, you do.
No, I was asking you
questions. We were
questions.
just talking about back in the day, and you're like, people called you pretty. And I'm like,
That's not what I said.
am pretty.
That's not what I said.
And then I have to give my own self a compliment. I have to give myself my own self a compliment because I'm like, yes, I am pretty.
Well,
that is
on par with your personality.
Because I don't get the compliment from you, so I gotta give myself a compliment so I can feel good about myself.
Sure. Other people give them to you, so I don't have to. Apparently,
no, yes. I give them to myself. That's what gives them to me.
I tell you when you start getting in shape. I tell you when you start getting in shape.
That is.
You have to earn compliments from me. Things need to be earned. They're not just given.
I'm just saying, where are the compliments at?
Yeah, when you work towards a goal and you accomplish the goal, I give the compliment.
No, yeah. You will.
When you're being a good mom, I tell you.
No, you do. You compliment me on being a good mom, like all the time. Yeah. You compliment me on when I'm like starting to get into better shape. You're like, oh yeah, you're starting.
Because I know you're working towards it.
Yeah.
I'm reinforcing the good.
But why do you never tell me I'm beautiful?
Have I ever? I don't think I told you that in our beginning of a relationship. Yeah, it's not something I just say to people.
Why?
It's
you know who tells me I'm beautiful all the time?
Your kids?
Sage.
Of course. He's like, a little lover.
He's like, I love your new hair. I love you.
Well, maybe if you did your hairstyle that I liked, I'd tell you I loved it too.
So pretty today. I'm like, thanks, buddy.
And then he says, "Give me boo-boos."
Yeah, he's like, now let me get those boo-boos.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I'm just kidding.
He's trying to sucker you up.
I'm just kidding. Yeah, I don't know if you've ever. I tell you, you're sexy all the time. I'll tell you, you're good looking, sexy.
Yeah, but you just throw out compliments to everyone else.
Yeah, it does.
It's like when people say I love you to everyone and everything. I'm like, it means nothing.
No, but it's not true.
You love air.
Yeah, I do love air.
Exactly my point.
I love being able to breathe air. Without air,
you love people you've never met, and I'm like,
who do I love that I've never met? Like an artist, and I'm like,
I love. I'm like, yeah, right.
Yeah, so because it's like a song that.
No, you'll say you love the artist.
Because if they make really good music, I do. I'm like, they make really good music.
You don't even know them.
I don't love them as a person. I love their music that they create.
Well, then that's what you say. But you don't. You say you love the person.
Yeah, because the music they create.
So therefore, it means nothing.
No, it doesn't mean this.
When you give compliments to everyone, they hold no weight. People value.
That's not true.
People value when I say something because it's scarce.
That's not true.
Ask your sister. She's like, "Wow, I know you mean it when you say something nice."
Yeah, because you don't.
That's right. It's because I don't. I do it when it is earned. Earned. Or if I feel like someone really needs it,
You're like, let me throw you a bone.
But you don't ever really need them, so.
Wow. Yeah, I do.
You're pretty self-sufficient.
Yeah, but you can tell me sometimes. I'll take them. Sometimes I try. I don't try very often, but sometimes I try.
To look beautiful?
You get nothing from me.
What does that mean?
Nothing.
What does that mean?
Yeah, I try to look beautiful. I try to look beautiful for you.
In what way?
Like I try to look nice.
You're going to do this on the camera?
I try to look good. I try to do my hair and look good.
You do the hair,
nice.
But you do how you like to do it. You and I have two very different styles. Like I dress nice. I'm like,
I do.
For you.
What do you want me to wear?
I don't know.
Give me
Doesn't matter.
I've asked you before. I'm like, what do you think? What's like a good style? And you're like, I don't know.
I have no idea. I've been off the market for so long.
I'm like, what would be like a good style
Naked?
for a female? Yeah, exactly. That's the only style you like me. I'll get compliments there.
Yeah, for sure. That's when I'm like, wow, you're looking
only compliments when I'm in the nude. Yeah.
Yeah, but it doesn't do anything. It's like when you're about to go shower or something. It's not like I'm getting anything from saying it.
Yeah, you are. Sometimes it's in bed.
Just complimenting your work. I never tell you to look good naked in bed. I can't see you. First of all, you're not naked in bed, which is the bigger problem. So.
I can't sleep naked. I just can't do it.
You could.
I mean, I could. It's just I need a t-shirt on.
Yeah, ruins it.
At least it's like sleeping without blankets. Like you can't not sleep without a blanket.
The blanket though.
Yeah, but like it feels the same.
Yeah,
like
maybe I'd cuddle more if you were naked.
It's like a layer.
That's all I'm
It's a
saying.
layer. We do cuddle.
I said maybe I'd cuddle more if you were naked.
Yeah,
Maybe I'd be
because
less
cuddling would
reluctant.
turn into boning, which is exactly what happens if a cuddle even happens. If you approach the cuddle.
So naked or not, it doesn't matter. But I'm saying maybe I would just do it more if I could feel your body, you know?
Do what more?
Cuddle.
Oh, yeah.
We're boning either way. But I'm just saying I would willfully cuddle more frequently if you were less clothed.
You sleep with clothes on as well.
Only because our children come in our room.
So
I have to.
I've told you that's why
Previous
I
to
sleep
that, I didn't know.
That's why I sleep with clothes on too.
That's not why you've had them
No,
on
I need
all the
a
time.
t-shirt. I like need a t-shirt. It's like I can't like people who sleep without blankets. Like you can sleep without blankets sometimes. Like I don't get that. Like I like even if I'm like smoldering hot, like I need a sheet on.
Doesn't you grow up poor like me and do anything?
No, my mom used to leave the windows open, and it would be like 85 degrees out. And she'd be like, "It's a beautiful evening." It'd be so hot in our room, but I like had to keep the sheet on.
Yeah. Speaking of this.
What?
Identity. Your identity of needing a shirt and needing a blanket.
Yeah. That's what we're going to be talking about today. That's one of my identities I need to let go of.
Yeah, you gotta let that go.
Maybe it's like a security thing. You know how you don't
For
like
sure.
not wearing shoes or like not having socks on because you're like, I don't feel secure.
When I'm in bed, I like to have my feet covered. But I'm really good at like conquering feelings.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm like, even if I'm like, oh, I want to have my feet covered, and I don't like it, I turn it off.
What do you mean? Like if they're not covered, you'll be like, it's okay. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, my initial thought.
It's like, oh, I want my feet covered.
I'm like, oh, I feel vulnerable because my
Yeah.
feet are exposed. Like they're not under something,
Yeah.
you know? Like, because I always slept with socks on when I was like a youth.
Growing up, yeah.
Right. But yeah, so if I'm lying there and my feet are exposed and like I'm going to bed, I'm like, this feels unsafe. But then I just tell myself, shut up.
You're like, you're good.
Like, you're fine. Do it anyway.
Yeah.
The same like today I had to go walk. Every time this ever happens, I always post it on my story. But I went to go walk
You
to
posted on your story today?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see. I gotta check it out. Sorry, go ahead.
It's fine. I posted how you made me do your slave labor.
What did I?
Just
Oh,
kidding.
how you had to change the tire?
Yeah. No, I
I
posted that.
popped a tire today.
Something popped your tire. That was bad. I was like, you got some enemies. It looked like someone just took a big blade and sliced the whole
I
thing.
was like, oh my gosh. I can't believe it got popped like that. I have no idea how that happened.
But yeah, so like when I dropped off your car at the mechanic shop, and then I walked back to pick it up. And I'm like, every time I walk, I feel poor.
Oh yeah, I know
Like,
you told me that before.
I feel poor.
I know.
But you know what I say? So
Just
what?
walk anyways.
Like, there's like, you can have these feelings and just not do anything about them.
For sure.
Like in my core, it's a feeling, and a feeling is just like an old emotion that I felt from a long time ago
Yeah.
that got stored. And I'm like, I know I'm not poor.
Yeah.
Doesn't like, and then I just go in there and I kind of do it more of like, because there's not many things that I'm like, I have a vulnerability about,
Mhm.
I feel like. At least I not talk about. Like, maybe there's some other things that I'm really bad that I've never talked about.
Yeah. That you don't
But I'm like,
even
this
know.
is,
They're
I'm
just
like,
deeply
man,
embedded.
when I walk, I feel poor. And I feel like a lot of people, when they do things, they feel like stupid or shameful or whatever.
Mhm.
And I'm like, and you know what? Like, I feel that feeling, I acknowledge it, and then I just push that shit way back down.
Yeah.
And I walk, and I do what I have to do. And the
I mean,
feeling
of
goes
course,
away.
if there's like things I have
You know?
to do, I'll do it. Like,
But the only way you get over that feeling of like something you dislike
mhm.
is just being like, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
Take
I mean, I
the
don't
shirt.
disagree.
Take the shirt off. Sleep naked.
Don't disagree.
Sleep naked tonight.
But also, like, our kids do come. No, I say it doesn't come in as much
Our
anymore.
kids see
but
you naked all the time. It's just different
no,
for me.
but the thing is, if I'm going in, because I still breastfeed him, so if he comes in my room,
It's not really about sleeping naked. I understand why you don't. The same reason I don't.
I'm like, well, you could because you could just throw your shorts on quick, but I'm like, if
I
I'm
gotta
going,
be ready.
Yeah, I gotta be ready to get up and go. No, yeah, for sure. But I do. I mean, I do things that like make me uncomfortable when like those things come up. I guess I don't do them like every day, which is like what people say to do. Like,
Just
do something that
frequently.
makes you uncomfortable more often. Yeah,
More
yeah.
often. Yeah.
Like,
Every
so that-
day is just
so that it
so
becomes-
dumb. People say that for like working out. I'm like, first of all,
To do what? To work out every day?
like the work, like the thing that people usually say that do something discomfortable is like
Oh,
working out
Oh yeah.
a cold plunge.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm like,
That's what I was
what
thinking.
kind of what kind of weak life that did you have to live that working out
And going
and
cold.
going in cold water for 3 to 5 minutes is so hard? I'm like, are you what? That stuff blows my mind.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like I feel like that's not the hard thing I'm talking about, but yeah.
But I'm saying that's what people say. That's what
people
say.
use that as like their hard thing for the day.
For sure.
I guess for me, a hard thing is like, well, no, because it is uncomfortable. I guess if you're uncomfortable, I was going to say like something that makes you uncomfortable. Maybe something like that is an identity that you're holding onto, or like a self-conscious thing. It's like working out is not self-conscious unless your thing is that you're self-conscious about working out, and then you like force yourself to go to the gym. So like, I really don't want to go because I don't know what I'm doing in the gym. I feel like
that's
like,
completely different.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's different.
That's conquering
than being,
fear.
Like, yes. Yeah.
I'm saying people do that and be like, go out and run, and then run past the point where you don't want to run. I'm like, this does nothing. Like, are people really into that? Like, it does nothing.
Running.
Right.
Or just working out. Yeah. Or cold plunges are also like, or like a sauna.
I'm like now, if you're afraid to go to the gym, like genuinely fearful, and you walk through the door, and that's as far as you got today, and you took one more step than yesterday, that's doing something challenging and difficult.
For sure.
And you didn't even work out.
Yeah.
You know, that's not what I'm talking about.
Like going, yeah.
I'm talking about the lame losers who think like
work out and they think working out is like the challenge.
Doing hard physical things is the same as overcoming yourself.
That's what I'm saying. I think those are two different things. What I was like trying to say is that I think like what people say to like build that momentum, and I feel the same. Like it would be like something I don't like is like public speaking. So I feel like if I like really wanted to conquer that, I would try to like do things where I'm like going out and like talking to like group, like I would maybe like try to like schedule things or like go like do podcasts or like something like that where I'm like talking in front of people because that's like something that's uncomfortable for me and try to do it more often because then obviously the more often you do it is like
also you gotta like
it's like even like when we do like this month I want to go out and like go to a couple wholesale accounts and like the first two I go to I'm always like I was like I don't know what to say like what's my name like I like just go like brain dead like because I don't know why I get like nervous at first like I like literally have to hype myself up in the car I'm like all right let's go like you got it like you got a great product you know what you're gonna say but like I'll be driving like to the account and I'm like my bars are like I'll be trying to think of like every single question they could possibly ask me to. Like I'm like, okay, this.
So what part of it are you afraid of the most?
Like you know me. You know one of the weird things about me is like I don't like going into like I guess it's like I don't really like going into like new places by myself where I don't know anybody else.
That's like the oddest thing because it's like the complete opposite of your personality. Like
once I'm there,
you are the annoying person. I'll talk to everyone.
No, I know, but like,
and you like change for everything.
I know, but like,
I'm gonna get menu number 21. What does it say? I don't even know.
Well, I guess it's like because it's different. It's like when I'm going there with an agenda versus not an agenda. Like if I'm at the grocery store, yeah, I'll talk to
anyone. That's what makes me feel like it's something.
There's no like agenda there. It's not like I'm trying. Well, it's not like I'm trying to because I'm going there with my product. You know,
all right. So
like I'm going there to try to convince them.
It's not.
It's not. Like I'm going there to try to convince them. Like.
So what are you afraid to? What do you think?
Like rejection, I guess.
Just rejection.
But like also, who cares? Because I don't really care. Because I know that that's gonna. I do care because I would love for every single place I walked into to like accept my product and be like, this is so wonderful and great. But like I know that that's not the case. But like,
is it a no that you're afraid of, or is it something else?
What do you mean?
Like
like no, it's like not the no. Maybe like them thinking like. What is this bitch doing?
Exactly.
Like, what are you doing in here? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, don't you want some products? Like, and then sometimes it's like a place maybe like I've never been in before, and then I go in and I'm like, I don't really like know like the whole setup, and then I like try to look around quick to be like, would our bar even work here? And then at that point, like the person's already seen you, so now you're stopped, like, and you're like coming in with a product, and like. I mean, people are so nice. Like, I'm not gonna act like no one's ever been like rude or anything. Even the places like we went to so many places like. You know, when we first started, we went to
some liquors are rude. When we were in North Carolina, we dropped off all those places. Some people are just like
they're not like rude. They're not like actively like, you know, they're not like making fake. Sure. They're not like being like maybe their body language.
They're
might
just
be
not
like,
hospitable.
Yes, for sure. But I would say more are than
are. They'd be like, we already have bars here,
and like okay,
and then like dismiss you. But I was gonna say
for sure there are people like that, and it's like okay, but that's like
if I went to
like 50 accounts, that's like one account. Who somebody's like maybe rude. You know?
Down here it's very rare.
Like people will just be like nice to your face and then just never.
Down here,
yes, and then just never talk to you again. Sure. Like they'll be like, "Oh, these sound so great." Yeah, exactly. Like these sound so great. We would love.
I'll take honesty. Actually, I'd rather do.
Me too. I would personally rather the honesty too. Like, hey, we're not going to do this right now. Or even if you're like, we're not going to do this right now, and I'm like, sick. Thanks. I'm going to take these. But also, then I'm like, or I would leave them anyways. I'd be like, just you enjoy them and see if you guys like them. Maybe you'll buy them. Like the person at the desk, you know.
Yeah.
But. Yeah, I don't know. I guess it's like the unknown of what they're because I like don't care what people think about me, but at the same time I do care what people think about me. You know?
I think this has nothing to do.
Like I think it's like I like care So it's like me caring so little, it's actually me caring, you know?
Mm-hmm. It's your defense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like I want to
pretend not to care.
Yeah. It's like I think like I want to be liked. I want to be liked.
A lot of people do that. You know?
And then because I'm like, rather than like somebody saying like they don't like me, I'm just like, I really don't care what you think. It's like my automatic like default. Like I'm like, I don't care what you think. Because I ultimately don't. Like I am the only person who like, it's like a twofold. Like I really don't, because I don't let other people's opinions of me like sway the way that I personally feel about myself. Like I feel like I'm pretty solid in like who I am, you know? But at the same time, I'm like, I do want people to like me. I feel like that's a very common like human thing, you know? Like that's like a human like nature thing. Like I'm like, I want to be liked and accepted. Yeah, exactly. Like I want to be part of like the thing. Like I don't know. Which I usually like. It's not like I was ever. I feel like that would stem from somebody who was like bullied or something as a kid, and I
think you were. You were just.
I wasn't though.
I think
like I really wasn't. Like I was always in like the like. I always had friends. I was always in like the in groups. Like I always like was.
I just think you were blind.
I wasn't.
What I say is like one of your best gifts. It's like you only see what you want to see, and like sometimes when you talk about your childhood and you're just like, if somebody made fun of you in any way, you're like, I'm gonna do whatever I want. And that was at a very young age.
Yeah.
I personally feel like, you know?
Yeah.
And then you probably carried that for so long that you became like, it was like so automatic you don't even realize that harassing you. You're like, I am this way.
Yeah.
But you actually became that way as a reflex to somebody else.
Yeah. Like it wasn't a defense really or something. Were. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a defense to be like, well, I really don't care what you think because I know.
Now I have to be different.
Yeah.
Like now when you make fun of me, I'm like, I don't want to be you anyway.
That's exactly what it is. No, that's exactly what it is.
So therefore, I think you never realized when people were bullying you, but the inner child in you that first created that defense mechanism probably knew.
But I really don't think I was bullied.
Sure. Everyone's bullied. What the heck are you talking about?
No, I really don't think. Like, people would be like I've told you this before, like, yeah,
there's
whatever.
Extreme cases, but everyone is mean. Kids are just mean. You see kids all the time. Kids are just mean.
I mean, kids are mean,
and
but
teachers are mean. You were probably definitely bullied at your school you
private Catholic school.
Yeah, for sure. Nothing meaner than nuns.
Teachers, some of the teachers were like, and maybe that's what it comes from, because I was not good in school.
Yeah.
And then because I wasn't good in school, I felt like I was like not, like I was like, well, I don't want to be good in school anyways. I don't really care. I don't even know how to spell. I don't even know how to read.
For sure.
I don't care what you think.
Yeah, like that's why I feel like when you go to the wholesale accountant, like what you said, you're just like, who the F is she? Like your biggest fear is just not being significant, you know?
Yeah.
Like I'm not worthy to like
I'm going
to come here, I'm gonna bring my product and be like, you own this company? Who are you? You know? And you probably maybe that was from the bullying of the nuns.
Yeah. Even still sometimes when people are like about small seed or something and like they're just like confused. They're like, so what else do you do? And I'm like, no, like I feel like you think it's small. Sure. And I'm like, it's not small, it's like my whole life.
Yeah.
Like it literally provides my whole life. And I'm like, why is it like just like maybe like it's that this is like changing, but I feel like people are like, oh, if you're like, oh, I work at Google, they're like, oh, sick. But you're like, oh, I have my own company, and they're like, oh, but what else? You know? Because they look at you and they're like, oh, they think doesn't provide for you, or like, you know what I mean? That's not why. They look at you and they think I am equal to or better than you are. You own your own company and it provides you everything. I gotta go work for somebody. They're like, no way. Yeah. It's them thinking they're better than you. Yeah. And then realizing you are capable of doing better than them, and they're like, no way. I don't believe it. You know? Yeah. Maybe that is what it is. Because I'm like, or like, oh, if you're looking for like to do a side job or side money, I'm like, why would I ever want to do side money or a side job? This is everything to me. Like, this makes me my money. More into what I have. Yeah, I'm like, this makes me my money. Like, what do you mean? I'm not trying to. This is not a side. Like, I feel like they think it's like a side gig because they do fake side gigs that like make them like or like. That's because they just see you as them. And I'm like, you know, no. They see you as them, and they see successful people as something else. Yeah, I'm like, this is just disrespectful. It feels like disrespectful. I'm like, this is disrespectful that you think I'm like so lowly. I know what you're saying. Like, I'm like, I feel I personally get judged like that all the time. I'm like, I don't care. I don't care, but I'm like for a second, I'm like, what? Like, no, just because you. Like, what do you think this is like a pyramid scheme or something that I'm in? Like, no, this is my own company. You know what I mean? I think they see successful people as something different. Yeah. You know? Like, you're a very normal person. You know? Yeah. Like, you're just like... Like what? Like just chill?
Yeah, exactly. Like you dress very casual.
Yeah.
You have kids, like, you know.
Yeah.
You go and play. Like, you're a very, like, normal person. You know what I mean?
This is disrespectful.
No, it's not. This is what they see. They don't see that, like, a suit and a tie and a serious person, you know what I mean? It was, like, always on the phone, like, the, like, iconic version of what a successful person is.
Yeah.
That's what they have in their head, you know? And also, like, successful people don't go out in public.
Yeah.
This is what they think, you know? They run in their own circles. They do their own things. Like, you don't run into successful people.
Yeah.
You know? So then when they talk to you and you're just like, they're like, wow, this person's like me. And then you say that thing, they just assume you're a loser like them. Yeah. It's just true.
Look, I don't think you're a loser.
I usually get judged by people who are like on the same playing field as me. Like, you know what I mean? And they're just in disbelief.
On the same playing field, like people who
probably have like
come from your background.
Status.
You're saying?
No. People in my background are just also dumb losers. So I meant like if I see people who are like probably like an even status, like we make the same amount of money.
Businesses.
Maybe we're both in business on some level, and then they meet me and they just like assume that I'm less. You know?
Yeah. Why do you think that?
Just by their reaction.
Like the way that they're talking to you?
Yeah.
You feel like they're talking
body language, how they're talking. Yes, yeah.
Like, oh, you need my help. No, just kidding.
No, I don't. Yeah. Or they're like surprised and I'm like, oh yeah, I own the company. Because I don't really talk about it, I don't care.
Yeah, me either. No, I don't either.
I'm like, I'm here dropping off small seed. You know? And they're like, oh, how do you know this company? I'm like, I own it.
Yeah.
And they're like, what?
You are tattooed?
You're a tattooed muscled guy? Aren't you dumb? And ghetto?
That's probably.
White trash? I don't know. I don't know what they think. I'm like, my skin's all to be brown, okay? And call me brown trash.
I'm
trash at the
olive
least.
Trash, okay?
Yeah.
You better call me olive trash. I'm not white trash.
Jeez.
I never lived in a...
Trailer?
Yeah, I was like, wait, what do white trash people live in?
I might have lived in a trailer, I don't know.
You probably did. Probably in California.
I feel like that house in California was probably a
well, no, it was on base. It was on base,
but
so it wasn't.
Didn't have a basement or anything. I bet it was just a prefab home, you know?
Yeah, dude, the prefab homes are kind of nice.
Sure. I like the drop shift.
Some of these prefab homes.
They were talking 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Probably not great.
I mean, either way.
We went out in the desert and threw rocks at each other for fun. AKA, rocks were being thrown at me.
Oh, no. He did get bullied.
I got bullied
actually bullied.
I got bullied
like the bully you'd imagine, not my like fake bullying.
Yeah, I got the
like,
mean
bully. Yeah.
I got the the violent, harsh.
Yeah.
Everyone bullied me.
Also, boys are bullied so different than girls, I think.
Kids bullied me.
Like,
teachers bullied me. Police bullied me.
Yeah, you got bullied.
My family bullied me. A bunch of bullies.
Bunch of bullies around. Look at how thick your skin is.
And then I became a monster and no one bullied me.
And then they were scared to bully you. Then you get a beat down.
That's what I get.
I mean, you either crumble or you...
See, that was an identity that I adopted.
Turn into fire.
That I'll never let go.
What? Like the hardness?
Being hard.
The harshness? Yeah.
Like, it's why my body's built and it's why I'm an asshole.
Because it was like a defense mechanism at some point in time.
Well, I wanted to be bigger so people would be afraid of me. I want people to be afraid of me. Yeah. So I don't give out compliments.
We're gonna have.
You gotta have a little fear. You gotta have a little fear for me. You know? Everyone should fear me a little bit. It's like it's my goal for every relationship. There has to be like a healthy amount of fear.
Do you feel like I fear you?
No.
This is what is the
That's why our relationship's not so great.
This is the problem. Have some fear.
You should.
Should I?
Yeah, of course. Healthy fear, you know? Healthy amount.
I don't believe it. Because I know you on a deeper level.
Yeah. Well, I don't mean physical. I don't mean from physical violence.
I mean, I don't think you mean that.
I mean, like, just afraid of what I'm capable of.
Yeah. You know? Like, mentally. You should mentally
the
be
things
afraid
I will do to get the results that I want.
That's the thing. I know you. I know your games that you try to play. Mm-hmm. You can't long run me. You can out-quiet me.
For sure.
You can out-silent me.
I could win everything if I really wanted to. It just doesn't like benefit me long term, so then I lose.
Yeah.
So that's why I don't do it. One day, you never know. It could just be a volcano that erupts.
You kind of are.
That'll be the end of it. I think if anything, in a relationship, what not you, but I'm just in general, I feel like the biggest fear, if anyone like really knew me, is I'd just leave, you know?
Yeah.
I'd be like, I'm gone forever. Never talk to me again.
Of course, that would be like, yeah.
I think that would be the, like, what I would do to destroy something.
That would be like a fear, but it's like not, like, I just don't think you would do that is where I'm like at. Like, we have kids, so I just don't think you would do that. You know what I mean?
Should listen to that FBI agent back in 2016.
What?
Is he an FBI agent?
Who?
The guy that you talked to at your friend's
party. With the sociopath? Or right? Is that the
He's like, it's just going to leave you one day and never come back.
Remember? Yeah, because it happened to his friend. I was like, what? I was like, and maybe you would have before we had kids, but I think you're now too emotionally tied into our children. Like, I think you could probably easily leave me. I know people think this is fucked up, but I think that but I think because like I'm attached to our children, and I think you have like an emotional attachment to our children, that I don't think you could ever leave our children. I don't think you could ever literally just be like, peace out, and like never like turn around, you know, with our kids. Me, probably.
Time's ticking then. You got what? How old is it going to be? Saying? You got 14 years.
Our kids.
In 4 months.
Our kids, not so much. But I'm like connected to our kids. That's what I mean. You can never actually not see me again.
14 years.
But still, like, our kids get married. Our kids have kids. I'm gonna be around. I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna
Skype
be around.
Everyone wants to
Skype. No, you don't want to do that. Exactly. You just not be seen them.
All right. So you kind of pulled up in this conversation.
I pulled up to it.
You pulled it up.
What do you mean?
Like the identity thing.
Oh, yeah.
What way are we going to go with it?
I don't know. Sorry. I feel like this has been the most randomest. How long has this podcast been going on for?
Just going. We're talking about identity. It makes sense.
Yeah. But, no, I was
saying struggling. I asked you, I was just like, hey, what are you struggling with?
Yeah. Why is this podcast all something like my therapy, like about me?
No, we're just talking about like documenting. I just talked about me.
What are you talking about? No, I was talking about.
What did I say last week? I was like, I don't want to make this all about like things that you're suffering from, you know? And you're like, that's fine. And then the very next week we do it again. You're like, why is this about me?
Like, what I asked you, I'm like, what about you? What are you suffering with? You're like,
my entire life.
Exactly.
This podcast isn't long enough. YouTube would crash if I had to talk about my suffering.
All of my suffering. No, I was talking about, I feel like we need to do like a back step on the podcast that you listen to. That I was talking about, like, just like your identity.
How to live properly?
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
How to live properly.
Yes. But no, I was talking about, or maybe this wasn't even on the podcast, maybe we were just talking about this, about like how God calls you to like lose certain identities so that you can step into a new identity. For sure. You have to sacrifice the old to become the new. Yes. This is like, this is through biblical. This is like, everyone knows this. A part of you has to die exactly. For a new you to go forward. Yeah. And it's like when the old you is straddling the new you, you're like not either one of them, but like the old you is holding you. When the current you was holding on to the old you, you can just never become the new you. Yeah. And I feel like but it's like blocking your blessings. Oh, of course. Because it's like God's calling you to be in this place, or he's calling you out of this season of life. But you're like stuck in this season of life because you have like a lot of emotional attachment to this, like to that identity, Yeah. It's like stepping into a new identity. Yeah, we can just do a very visual. I'm right here, and God's telling me to go over to you, but I'm unwilling to let go of what I'm holding on, which is my old self. Yeah. And as long as I hold on to this, I can never move to where I'm supposed to go. Yeah. And God's like telling you, like, if you because maybe you're afraid to leave that or whatever because you're not sure, like, what's over there. You don't know what's over there. It's, like, usually, like... Who knows? It's fear. It might be comfort. But leaving comfort is fear. What was I saying? Sorry, pee break. What was I saying? I really don't remember. We're talking about, like, I was saying it might just be a comfort. It's something that you're holding on to. Oh, yeah. Because, well, no, what I was going to say is, like, I think leaving a comfort is a fear. Not always, though. Like, they're not afraid to step outside. They're just so happy with what they have, they don't want to let it go. Yeah, that too. But I think part of you, when you're being, like, called into a new space, into a new season, into a new identity, like, whatever you want to call it, when you're being, like, called out of that, I think part of you knows it. Like, knows what? Knows that you're not supposed to be in that anymore. Like, deep in your, like, just in, like, your soul, like, in your, like, subconscious, like, you just know, like, you're not supposed to be there, but like, it's almost like you're just not willing to let go, Yes. Yeah, I get it. So it's like, yeah, anyways. don't know why I was like, oh yeah, that like sometimes like God, well, my thing is like God is calling you out of like this season into a new season so he can give you blessings in the new season, but it's like you just like are keep like fighting. You keep on fighting leaving like this season because like, yeah, things aren't like bad, you know? Like obviously you'd want to step into a new season if things were like horrible. You'd be like, God, take me out of here, you know?
You would think that, but a lot of people stay in those because they think the next thing's going to be even worse.
True. Yeah, I guess you're right.
That's the right.
I guess you're right. Yeah, like especially if you've like built your identity.
Like if you're like a person who's like bad things always happen to me, and you're in a bad situation, you're like, man, that could be
something
way
worse is gonna come. Yeah,
for sure.
That's true. I guess you're right. It just depends.
Bad situations for too long.
You're right. That is true too. Yeah, I think one of the things like I was saying is I feel like I personally am like at a place in time where I know. Like, I'm like, okay, I need to, like, do these things, you know? Like, I need to step away from that identity. Or I just need to, like, accept that chapter has closed and close it. It's like this. It's like the chapter's, like, almost closed and it's, like, there. I'm like, I'm so, like, happy here. Like, I'm comfortable and I'm happy and, like, it makes me happy, you know? But I'm like, I need to, like, close it because I feel like closing it is going to, like, bring me to the next level. It's going to put me in... It's gonna like I feel like
it's gonna let you allow you to commit fully
to the new exactly to like the new space.
You can never have two things, you know,
yeah,
that conflict each other.
I feel like it's just like it's not even like a season. It's just like an identity for me right now. I'm pretty good at like ebbing and flowing into new seasons. I feel like of life, like things that come and go, and like just like accepting like okay, this is just a season right now, but it's like an identity. It's like a piece of my identity that I hold on to.
Yeah. But we're not talking about season. You're talking about trying to go climb a mountain.
Yeah.
You're trying to climb a mountain with weights on your feet.
Exactly.
You know? And you're like, but I really like these. They look good.
They feel good.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, these, you know, they're my favorite color. You know, I really love them. They make me look good. But man, they're heavy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and then you just like, you look at the weights and you look at the mountain, you're like, do I really want to go up there?
Exactly. But also you like look up and you're like, I know that's like where I belong. You're
being called to do it.
Yeah.
But you're like, but then the part of you is like, but I really enjoy these weights.
Yeah. I actually feel like I'm finally, like I was just saying this to you like a couple days ago, it's like I feel like I'm finally like ready to like do what I need to do to like get out of that space.
Yeah.
You know?
This is like a part of like, this is like the journey of growing up. Not
well, that's
you.
What it is.
Not you. I'm talking about this
example.
Example is like, this is what happens when a person becomes, you know, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and they're being called to leave their home.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, I've always been a child. I've always had my parents. Not everyone has. I'm just saying this is the story, you know? Like, this is the house I grew up in. You know, like,
this is the place I know.
Bills are paid.
This is the city I know.
This is like,
these are the friends.
This is my identity. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I need to go and make something of my own.
Yeah.
And it's that, and like some people nowadays will straddle that thing until they're 40.
I mean, yeah,
but I think the longer you straddle it for those people, it's like the worse their life is. Like they're just in like a purgatory.
Yeah.
From 18 to
25
or 40 or whatever, you know? Like how they extended colleges to basically graduate like 26.
Yeah.
You know? Like now you're no longer a child. You are an adult living a child's life, and therefore you're neither.
Yeah.
Like you're in this weird purgatory for 8 years, and you become a monster. Because, like, you know inside, you're like, I need to be doing more. I need to be contributing. Yeah. I need to be growing, learning, contributing, trying to create something of my own. Like, going out and establishing things, whether it's new relationships or, you know, it's your work. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, buying your own house, whatever the case is. And you're just, like, not. You're not filling that need. Like, something inside you just being like, go do these things. Create. And you're like, no, I'm going to eat the ice cream.
I'm going to stay here.
And then you just kind of like become tormented. And those people always had like really bad mental health.
Yeah, for sure.
Really
well, because
bad.
you know.
I mean, people go to college usually have really bad mental health. And I think it's because you extend
your
childhood when you are an adult.
Yeah.
Like biologically, you are.
But worse, because when you go to college, you're just like party, no responsibility.
Sure,
all I have to do is go to classes. Like, I'll just go to classes. Maybe I also have to work. I'm not saying everybody just gets, like, doesn't have to work. But, like,
I'm saying the people with
yeah.
But that you're just a child, but you have the callings of an adult.
Mm-hmm.
Like, your conscience knows right and wrong and what you should be doing.
Yeah.
And you're like, hate yourself.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That's like, I feel like that identity, especially when you grow up in like a really good home, you know?
I mean, even if you grow up in a really poor home, like, my identity as a teenager was, you have to take care of your family. That's an identity that was put inside of me.
Yeah.
And this is a lot of poor people.
For
like,
sure.
They can never leave.
Especially like if you're an oldest, like the eldest in families who like grew up like,
or like
struggling.
If you have a single parent, you have like 5 siblings.
That's what I mean, like, the oldest. Like,
but even if you're not, I don't even know if you, maybe it is because you're the oldest, I don't know, but I'm saying if you're one of them and you've always had each other, your identity is like, you have to take care of each other.
Yeah, for sure.
Period. Nothing else.
Yeah.
You have to do it. And they will stay stuck in this cycle because they can never break that identity. And the only thing that broke that identity at me was going to prison.
I know.
Like, if I never, like, that, when going away was like, oh,
like
everyone's fine without me.
Like,
I literally had to do everything for everyone. And then the moment I was gone, everyone survived. You know? And I was like, I don't have to do these things.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no. The world doesn't end. Things don't collapse. They are still living their life.
They're okay. They're taking care of themselves. Yeah.
Would they want me? Sure. Did I handle their problems? Yeah, because it made their life easier.
For sure.
But I'm like, they don't need me.
Mm-hmm.
So then, therefore, I'm like, oh, my identity is no longer I have to be there for my family.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah, like they're okay with it.
But it was like a radical shift that had to do that for me. You know, I don't think I don't know if I would have ever broke, because like one of like same thing you were saying was like our kids, like now that we have kids, like you're tethered, you're not going anywhere, because I think a big part of my core like moral is duty, like that's like a compass that I have, like so like the thing I probably have a few things. One of my biggest like North Stars is like I am obligated to take care of the people that I love. You know, that's like plain and simple. It's like past identity to me.
For sure.
It's like my soul.
It's like, yeah.
You know?
It's like your core.
It's my core, right. So it's past like an identity someone put on me.
Yeah.
This is like who I am in my being. And that's why I was like so simple at when people were putting on me, like, gotta take care of these people. Like my family.
For sure.
You gotta take care of whomever.
Yeah.
Like, because my core is like duty. I take care of people that I love and I do what I'm told for those people.
Yeah.
Like, so if I have a boss and tells me to do something, without question, I do it. Because I signed up for this duty. Like, when you have a parent, my mom used to say, like, if I told you to strip naked and run down the street, you would have done it. Like, just flat out. Like, without flinching. Yeah. Because, like, it's in my core, like, my DNA is duty.
Yeah.
You know?
Like, do what is told and needed.
Do what needs to be done.
Yeah.
But when you have someone who's a superior and they tell you to do something, in my mind, if you're a soldier, like, you just do it.
Yeah.
Like, that is what needs to be done.
Yeah.
You know? That's why all bosses love me.
I know.
I'll do everything.
Those are like the best workers, though. Those are all the people that people love. Like the number 2, because it's like, I can just train you exactly how I want you to be, because then you can be a mini me, and then do it better, though, because you're not me, so you don't struggle with all the things I struggle with, which is like the money, which is what we now have to deal with.
Thankfully, I just had a good boss, because, like, you know, some people just take advantage of that, you know?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. But I think that's what everybody's number 2. That's like what the number 2s are best at, is they're just like soldiers, you know? They're like willing to do everything to die for it.
Yes, but so it also happens for poor people as well as. But I
guess just like any type of like
leaving,
deep connection, whether it's through trauma, which like not to say poor people are connected through trauma, but in a way it kind of is.
For sure.
Either connected through trauma or like through a joy, you know, like through a trauma or an ease. I guess would be like like a comfort or a trauma would be like the two, like. No matter how that is with your family, it's like, you get like easily like sucked into like that being like having a hard time moving past that and growing up, you know? Yeah. Or just moving out of that.
That's why like I always say like the job as a parent is protect, provide, prepare. And the third one I think a lot of parents miss. Like they're not guiding their children, letting them know like you're gonna be off on your own. You are gonna start your own family. Yeah. Like we did it, you're going to do it. You're not going to be here forever. Yeah. Like, not in a fearful way, but in a very genuine way.
Like, understand, exactly.
You know? Like, and I think that is very important. And a lot of parents don't. A lot of parents are like, "You're never leaving me. You're going to stay here forever. You have to come to everything I always do."
I think that's how kids end up staying at home until like 40, because it's like they're like taking care of them. Their mom still does their laundry, and their mom still like, or their parents like coddle them to death until the point where they're like, I actually don't even know how to go off on my own because I've never had to, and I've never been told how to.
Also, when you do, you get chastised. Like, what do you mean you're not coming to our family event?
Yeah.
Like, how dare you?
You're not going to come to Sunday dinners?
Right, whatever it is. Yeah. Like, how dare you?
We always do Sunday dinners. Like, you're not going to come to our
you're never allowed to become your own person. Mm-hmm. That's actually the story of Hansel and Gretel.
What is it?
Hansel and Gretel?
Yeah, what's the story?
The moral of the story is like they use a witch in the woods, but that's actually supposed to be a mother. The moral of the story is that a mother who overcoddles her children and gives them what they want, candy, and lets them all be about me, devours her children and kills them. Oh. Because they never get to grow into who they're supposed to become. Like, you know? And if you're not growing, you're dying. But that's actually the moral of that story. Oh. Which no one knows anymore because they just have changed it so many times. It's retarded.
No,
it's like, oh, don't talk to strangers and take candy from them. Like, that's not the moral of the story.
That's a new moral of the story in today's world, but not when it was created.
For sure.
Yeah. I mean, and I think that's like a fine line also that like even like I'll probably struggle with that as a parent too, because I'm like, I want to be able to like take care of my kids and like I want
but you also you encourage them to do dangerous things that are just a little bit past their limits, and that's the preparation. Yeah. You know, hey, you don't get to live in comfort all the time. You don't. Like, you got to push boundaries.
For sure.
And you do that incrementally, and that way when they get to adulthood, you're like, okay, the next boundary is you start your own thing. Yeah. Like if you do that properly, incrementally, you've done your job. Like you have succeeded as a parent. They're alive, they're healthy, and they're ready to take on the world. Yeah. Like that
ideally you've set them up so they can literally like take over the world. Like in a
that'd be great.
Not like take over, but like they're doing something really impactful. Right. Like whatever it is. On like
whatever they're called to do.
That's what I'm saying. But it's really like impactful to them is what I mean. It doesn't have to be impactful to like It doesn't have to be impactful to like.
And by what I mean by one is like their conscious is what's their conscious telling them to do.
Yeah. That was the other thing. It was like your conscious is your North Star. Yeah.
For sure. I think those two terms are interchangeable.
Like, is God speaking to you? Your conscious is actually God's voice speaking to
you.
you.
If you believe in God, your conscious is God's voice inside of you. And if you don't believe in God, your conscious is your eternal self telling you what's best for you. Yeah. Like, hey,
which is why you say like, oh, my conscience is telling me this, but I'm doing this.
Right, right. A part of you, the you now, is like, no, I want to do whatever I want. And your eternal self, who lives outside of space and time, and is already like, let's just say they're infinite, so they've already lived this life. They're like, no, I know where you need to go. It's over here.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I know you think you want this now, but I'm telling you, you go over here. Life's way better.
Yeah, exactly.
And that is what that is.
I know, it's so good.
People can call whatever they want. God, the universe, the conscience. It's all this. It's all coming from the same source, whatever it is. However you need
energy source.
However, I would call it God. Yeah. But I'd also be like, God lives inside you, so it's your conscious. Like, it's just the same thing. But no matter who you are or what you believe in, everyone has a conscious. It comes from somewhere. And if you're a person who's like, I don't believe in anything but myself, great. It's your eternal self. Like, it's you outside of time. Yeah. But it gives you something to live more for, you know? Yeah, it's the perfect
it's the potential you. Yeah, exactly.
That conquered time.
Yes.
You know? It's amazing.
That's so good. It's so good.
Anyway.
No, it's so good. I'm like, oh, it's so good. And when you think about it like that, it just, like, becomes so clear of, like, what you need to be doing, you know?
For sure.
Like, the path that you're supposed to be on for, like, your best, most ideal, best, like, everything you could ever possibly want self. Like, just, like, if you could imagine yourself literally, like, just living in a paradise, it's, like, just that, like, stay aligned with that, like, stay on that target, you know? Like, just keep following and listening to that and doing that, even if you don't understand it, or you're like, why would I go over there when, like, why would I do this when that doesn't make any sense? Like, that makes no sense. Like, why am I going to go over here? That makes literally no sense. Absolutely nothing I've been working towards is telling you to go over there. You're, like, and so then you, like, start questioning, like, oh, I think I'm hearing it wrong, or I'm wrong. But, like, no, it's like, yeah, like God's like, or whatever, like whatever you want to believe it is.
We can call it God. That's what we believe.
Yeah. Like God is like,
I'm just telling people that's just interchangeable.
Like God is like, I know this is the path that you're supposed to be on. This is gonna lead, like everything you're telling me you want, I want to give that to you. And if you go on this path that I'm calling you towards, I will give you everything. It's waiting there for you. You just have to go to it. Like you have to listen to it and follow it and continue to follow it. Like
for sure. And to follow it means you have to let things
sacrifice.
go.
Yeah,
right.
And
Which is what I would call sacrifice.
Exactly. You know? Like you have to sacrifice things. You have to let go of things.
A part of you has to die.
Identities.
Things have to die. Relationships have to die.
Things that because God knows like our like what do I want to say? Like the things that we struggle with most, like our flesh. Sorry, that's what it is. What our flesh struggles with most, or our ego struggles with most, and oftentimes He's calling us completely against that because He wants to strip us of those, because those. What like our flesh struggles with and our ego struggles with is actually like what's holding us back in life. You know, it's like the things that will drag, like that will never let us reach our full potential, because we'll always be there. Whether that's like literally like I don't know, like you like flashy things or whatever.
What does your conscience ever tell you to do?
Huh?
What does your conscience ever tell you to do? My conscience ever spoken to me, it has never been to help me. Never, ever, ever has it been to help me. It's to help other people all the time. It doesn't matter if I'm walking down the street, or let's say if I'm in our bathroom and I see a piece of toilet paper on the ground. Yeah. And the inner part of me is like, pick that up. I'm like, that's not my toilet paper.
I didn't drop that on the ground.
But it's telling me, pick it up.
Yeah.
You know, that doesn't benefit me. It's to clean the space for everyone else that comes next.
For sure.
You know? Or like, literally anything. Like when you're called to be like, oh, tell this person something nice. Why?
Yeah.
Why? Why would I tell them something nice? You know, that's what the things you're called to do.
For sure.
You know?
No, that's true.
Tell her she's beautiful.
Tell me.
I don't ever feel it in my conscience, by the way.
I'm gonna ask God, like, can you start putting on His heart to call me beautiful?
But those are like real small things. But when you ignore those ones, it's real hard to hear the big ones. But my point of saying that was.
And then I think the big ones are like when people would say like they like almost like audibly hear God, or like they.
No, I meant like a big calling.
They know that is but they
I just meant like a big compulsion, like inside of you being like, I'm supposed to quit my job, like something so scary.
Here,
right? I'm being called to go to Arkansas.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know anyone in Arkansas. What? It's just rocks
what
there.
What am I doing?
I don't even what? You know, like something like that. Like they'll never listen to that voice if they. Don't pick
listen
up the
to the little voices.
I would have never listened to going up and talking to the gym, because I literally was like a 15-minute argument if I never took that 3 days of arguing with my conscience to pick up the Bible from the table. 3 days.
I'm like, no.
I'm not doing it. No, I'm not doing it. And finally, there was an opportunity when no one was around and I could do it fearfully.
Yeah.
Literally, like, as a coward. But I did it nonetheless. And then that step, and then listening to it became easier and easier and easier and easier. But it took a lot of days, hours, maybe weeks sometimes. Who knows?
Yeah.
You know?
Well, depending on what it is.
Whatever the calling is.
Whatever,
because the bigger the calling, the more you have to sacrifice.
For sure.
And that's what people don't want to do. Like, no, I don't want to give up X, Y, Z. Doesn't matter if it's just your pride.
Yeah.
Like in prison, it was pride. Like turning to God was weak, and people would view you as being weak. Mm-hmm. You know, and I'm not like my identity. I'm hard.
Yeah.
I'm a hard, jacked person, so no one can mess with me. Mm-hmm. I pick up a Bible, people start bullying me. Yeah. You know, like whatever. You know, that type of thing.
No, yeah, it's like the fearful.
So I'm like, that was a big one. It took me 3 days to get over it. You know. Mm-hmm. Or just anything, you know, like, but that's what I'm saying. Like, and then people just don't want to let go. Like, sacrifice. Something has to die for you to get the next thing. People are like, nope. Like picking up the trash. You're like, you have to get over yourself. It's your pride.
For sure.
You're like, oh, I am a servant.
Well, I think also people try to say, I can do both. Like they hear the calling. Sure. Yeah. They hear the calling, and they're like, okay, I'm going to go there. But also, I don't have to let go of this. I don't have to let go of this, you know. And God's like, okay, but I'm not going to give you like. You're not fully there yet. So, like, you're not going to get everything I can... Like, you're saying you want it, and I want to give it to you, and it's right here. It's in... You can reach it, but, like, this string is, like, holding you. And you're, like, so close to it if you just, like, cut the string, you know? Sure. Like, just cut the string, and, like, you can reach, you know? And you'll touch it. Like, it's there, you see it, but like it's just like like you're just because people think you can do both.
For sure.
I'm like one of those people who's like, like I'm like,
I
want to do everything all the time. Like I want
to eat my cake and still have
I tell you all the time.
Person.
I'm like, I don't want to.
I
don't want to. Like I want to do everything.
I can have it all.
I want to do both.
I'm like,
I say it all the time. I'm like, I want to do both. Like I don't want to have to choose. I'll literally have to, like, I know like that. Like, I want to have to choose.
That's it. That's what you're being called to. You just gotta make a choice. That's what we said last podcast. I don't care what it is. You just gotta choose one because you can't have two.
Exactly.
But I'll recircle because I don't know if I actually finished it. You are always called to serve other people. And this is what I think that's like the biggest that's like the hardest part. Like your calling is always to be in service.
For sure.
Like, and that's what makes it like you always are just sacrificing yourself, a portion of yourself for other people.
The greater good. Yeah.
Like for a greater good of anything. Mm-hmm. But it's usually it helps other people nonetheless.
For sure.
You know? And I think that's like the biggest part, and I think people just don't like.
And then that's all the issue with like today's world is like me,
sure.
me. Yeah. And it's like that voice is getting quieter and quieter and quieter. Mental health is getting crazier and crazier and crazier. People are losing like relationships with like faith or whatever it is. Like was it? There was like something I was just listening. Oh wait, it was a podcast. Never mind. But yeah, basically being like all these things, like if you're just focusing on me, you're never gonna be able to like hear that, like you're never gonna be able to like align, and you're never gonna be able to.
It's never about you.
Yeah,
it's not about.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like
us.
you're like, I'm not gonna do that because why would I do that? Like that's beneath me.
It's our contribution.
Or like
No,
it is. It's like, and that's how you're like aligned when everything just like feels like this is clicking for everybody.
Not only that, you just feel good.
Yeah.
Like
it feels
when you think about yourself, you feel like crap.
Like, when you're just constantly thinking about yourself.
Like when I think about myself, I feel like garbage. And I mean that as in like when I'm thinking about what am I getting? What am I not getting? What am I doing? What is no one else doing? I just become miserable. And as soon as you do something nice for someone else, like, I feel less miserable.
Yeah, exactly.
Excuse me.
That feels good. Like fine.
You're like,
even when you don't want to do it, you're like,
I feel like, exactly. Like, for me, I sacrifice things all the time. Because I'm a person who doesn't even like to talk to people. Mm-hmm. So like talking to somebody is a sacrifice. and I'm like, man, that just stole 3 minutes of my time. But I do feel better.
For sure.
Like if I had more time, I feel like I wouldn't be so adverse to it.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't have the negative portion of it. Like, man, I just lost that time.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I don't want to talk to people. But when they talk to me, I'm like, I know I just helped you.
Yeah.
And that makes me feel good.
Yeah. You're like, that was nice. I was meant to do that.
For sure. But yes.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like it comes off that way. I'm like, I usually feel like, oh, I was meant to talk to this person.
That's what I mean. Yeah. Like I was meant to do that.
I don't ever feel like it was nice though. I feel like I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, and therefore I feel good because I'm contributing. But I'm never like, that was a nice conversation.
That was good.
No, that's not just that doesn't go through my brain.
But you're like, my duty is done.
Exactly. Check.
The check is on.
I was like, I know this was meant to happen. Okay. I just
let it.
Caved in. Gave it up.
Yeah. But I
gave up what I wanted to do, which was going to run away.
Bye. I don't want to stand here. No, but don't really know if this podcast went.
It's great. Hopefully, it's my favorite one so far.
Hopefully, it was good.
Episode 10.
Oh, there you go. Is it episode 10?
I think so. Last week was
9. All right,
9.
wrap it up. Episode 10. This is an abrupt ending, but I don't really know where else we're gonna go with it. So
don't be selfish.
Yeah. Don't be selfish.
No,
you can't be in two places at once. When your conscience is calling you to let go of an identity and step into a new one, blessings are on the other side of that. This is me speaking to myself. And
it started with like identity and turned into
you can't have two.
How to achieve goals.
You can't have two identities. And yeah, I don't know.
No, the real message is if you want more in life, you have to make room. Your plate is already full. You want to put more on it, you got to take some things off. Mm-hmm. That's just very, very simple.